One point, he could not go back to choking, could you?
No.
He couldn't do it. Now, how long had you had that problem prior to this seminar?
A few years.
A few years. That's pretty fast, and that's how you test it. The skeptical question should be, how do we know this will work once he gets outside the seminar room? Isn't it? How do you know it's not just my charisma and his belief in me that's temporarily putting the response on hold? That would have been the most intelligent skeptical question, would have won you a free hour consult with me on Skype, had you just had the balls or the brains or both to ask it. But you didn't. By the way, is there anyone here who's had a personal consultation with me? You have?
For a few minutes.
Huh?
For a few minutes.
Anyone come out to see me in LA here? Anyone here who's ever come out to see me in LA?
Spoke to you about Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right.
What about the fact that she was talking to him multiple times, so it wasn't an approach? Sorry.
Oh, this is good. Go ahead, ask your question. What about the fact that it wasn't?
Yeah, it wasn't the first approach. It wasn't like they made, hey, hi, I'm Sam, I'm Sophia, whatever. It happened 5 or 6 times, so that would automatically get him more confidence, more...
Good.
Do I get a free hour?
No. But I'll give you a voucher for a beer. The answer is, first of all, the fact that he could not get back to the old response, that he tried to choke but was able to he couldn't choke, no matter how hard he tried, is an indication. But the more important thing is, as long as he practices this in the real world, if he practices this a sufficient number of times, then he cannot go back to the old way of doing things. If he practices this in the real world, including practicing choking and getting out of it, then he can no longer go back to the way he was. There's just no way he can. So the real operative question is, will he practice it? My hunch and my experiences say to me that he will, because he's seen the result right here. He has seen that if he does this simple thing, nothing will throw him. And now his brain knows he's got a better place to go. Do I know for a fact that he'll do that? No, I don't know anything for a fact. I know tomorrow, if I eat food, the next day if I wake up alive, I'm going to have to dispose of it in a certain way. But other than that, there's not too many things I know for sure. But I would pretty well say, but let's go one better. I want you to test this. Between now and the end of the day tomorrow, I want you to not approach, but talk to some women. Stay in your feet and see what happens. Okay?
Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
And I also want you to practice choking and then getting out of it. When you're by yourself in your room, wherever, practice getting into that choke state and getting out of it. Getting into the choke state and getting out of it. You understand? And then I want you to talk to women on Saturday and Sunday, report what happens. Okay? How's that? Fair enough? Go ahead and have a seat. Yes. Yes, sir. By the way, you're a really good flirt. Yes.
What is it about him paying attention to his feet and...
Remember I talked about change from the ground up. I mean it literally. When you're, first of all, when you're in touch with your feet, there's a lot of different explanations, acupressure points, I don't know, say what you want. But it's taking your attention off internal dialogue. That's taking your attention off internal dialogue. The second thing that's taking your attention off internal dialogue is temporarily defocusing your vision. It's softening your focus. When your focus gets soft, then your world expands. So your focus is really tight and the muscles will naturally release, the throat will release, the voice will deepen. People tend to slow down their speaking. It's really quite simple. But you notice what it's not. It's not an attempt to do a different kind of internal dialogue. Because, hold on, stop, just 1 second. Listen to my answer. It's not an attempt to do a different kind of internal dialogue. It's switching to an entirely different way of processing. You get it? Because prior to this, one more thing. Prior to this, he probably was already stuck in a lot of internal dialogue. Were you not?
I was, yes.
Yes. You were. Part of my insight into changing men and influencing anybody is people It's not that people are stupid or bad or fearful. It's that they're stuck processing the world in one system that doesn't work for that particular challenge. No matter what content he would have put through that system of internal dialogue, it wouldn't have helped. So prior to this, he was focusing on putting a different kind of content through that system. But it's the system itself that won't work for this particular challenge. You follow? So my insight as a teacher is to go underneath the surface of things and go, wait, it's not, oh, what do I say to women? In his case, it's, you know, or in most cases, first and foremost, it's where do you start off from? Where do you start in your body, your breathing, the focus of your attention, the flow of energy in your body, which I do believe in. Malin, dear, could I get some more water, please? Snälla, Malin, snälla. You speak Swedish?
I know what that means.
It means please, please. Well, your question. I'm sorry, I stepped on you. I didn't mean to.
I would imagine you need certain amount of internal dialogues, you know, to...
You need a certain amount of internal dialogue. Believe me, the internal dialogue will come out of your mouth instead of being in your head. It will still be there, but it'll be appropriate. You don't have to worry about, obviously he was saying things to her, so he was able to produce dialogue. You understand?
Okay, so it's not the thought process, the internal dialogue is not the thought process he would have had.
Say again? That's not a complete or sensible English sentence. I'm not making fun of you. It's not.
Say you have a thought process saying, okay,
Yeah.
I have a choice. Do I want to approach this lady
Yes.
or not?
Yes.
That sort of manifests in internal dialogue.
Yes, that's correct. It does.
Are you saying that that's
I'm
useless,
saying-
or that's
I'm saying that will ease significantly and you'll just find yourself talking without that going on. Don't worry, I'm not going to take away your internal dialogue. It's going to be there. It just won't be on all the time. It will be an appropriate. By the way, you can know what to say spontaneously without rehearsing it in your head first. Consider that possibility. You can let the other person's responses actually pull from you what you need to say. That's how Milton Erickson did a lot of hypnosis. He would just go into trance right along with his clients, and his clients' responses would determine what he would say, and it built a feedback loop. Right? But your questions are very good. What do you do for a living? You're quite bright.
programmer?
Ah, no wonder you're afraid of losing that internal dialogue.
I'm not afraid of it. I think it's necessary at times.
Yes, it absolutely is necessary, but it's not the only system that operates, and it's not the system that will solve this, that give you skill in this area of life. So, I'm really loving this. This is a great first night. We're baking along here, cooking. Yes, yes.
When he practices and you're not there, he might not be practicing right, so won't the practice be a waste of time?
Wow, listen to this. This is brilliant. Want you to hear the way my students think. Say it again.
Yeah, so because you're not there when he practices,
Slowly, because I'm not there when he practices.
his practice might be a waste of time.
His practice might be a waste of time because
He might be doing it wrong.
he might be doing it wrong. Wow. Wow. When I'm not there, his practice he may not be doing it right, and therefore he may get it wrong. Okay? Did you not see what happened up here when I told him try to get back to choking?
I mean, would he always have
Hold
to-
on,
yeah.
hold on. Did you observe what happened?
Yeah,
Okay. So would you say at least he's on the right track?
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay. Is this did I give him a complex practice with 10 different things to do? How many things did I give him to do? Huh?
One, two.
Yeah. So how retarded would he have to be after getting it here and seeing it work to somehow fuck up the practice? How likely do you think that is?
Very likely.
Very unlikely. So how often do you let extremely unlikely outcomes stop you from actually trying things out in the world? Huh?
You don't.
You don't. Okay, good.
I mean, will he always have to think with his feet like that?
Will he always have to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to see this kind of thinking, because it's this kind of thinking that here's my question, here's the real answer. Go see for yourself. I'll take some time, we're going to do it as a group, and I'll work with you, and see for yourself. Someone said to me, why don't you put more videos of yourself on the internet approaching women and doing this stuff? If you know, on my YouTube channel, there's a video of me, I called it No Excuses Sarging, where I figured, you know what? I'm just going to show guys that you can sarge anywhere. It's on my YouTube channel. She's pulling blood from my arm. She's taking my blood is that for the STD test or for the other thing? Anyway. I really honestly don't remember what it was for. No, this was for the hormone panel. Anyway, I'm 54 years old. I'm just saying, I don't care. I do hormone replacement therapy. Keeps me young, trim, and dating women 30 years younger than me. 32 years younger most recently. And anyway, so she's pulling the blood out of my, the blood's coming out. I turn on my iPhone. So here I am with the blood coming out of my arm. I'm filming. I go, so what's a nice girl like you doing pulling blood like this? And she laughs. And I'm just flirting with her, making her laugh. And she said, well, I have a boyfriend. I said, oh, boyfriends are like colds. You can catch one anytime. Well, anytime the blood, the precious light fluid, is flowing out of my arm. And so just to show that there's no excuse. But someone said to me, why don't you just have more videos of you taking women home, fucking women? Why don't you do that? And my response was, how would you know that those aren't actresses? How would you know for a fact, if you saw a video of me making out with women, doing this stuff, they're getting all hot and bothered, they're blowing me, whatever, how do you know, how could you know for a fact that they're not actresses? I asked you this question. How do you know? How would you know for certain that they're not? For certain. Like, huh? That's right. How do you know I'm not an actor playing a character called Ross Jeffries who's faking all of this? You know what's fun to do? Do you have street preachers here in London? People who get up on the street and yell about Jesus? Ask them this. This will really stump them. Excuse me, I have a question. How can I know for sure? How can I have faith that you really are a Christian? How do I know that you're not an actor, a really good actor who's been hired to play a street preacher, and you're really giving it everything to convince me that you're a Christian? How do I know that you're not actually an actor pretending to be a Christian? How can I have faith in the fact that you really do have faith? And they'll look at you and then turn to the crowd and go, and for that matter, how do you guys know I'm not another actor helping him to look more real by asking this kind of question? So my answer to you is, the only answer is for you to see for yourself what the results are. Let reality show you what works rather than your anxiety. Because in fact, the anxiety only exists in proportion to in inverse proportion to how much you're willing to go see what reality actually does. What's your name?
Neil.
Huh?
Neil.
Okay. Do you know who Columbus was?
Christopher Columbus.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did people tell Columbus would happen if he kept sailing in a certain direction? What's that? He'd fall off the end of the world, right. All he did was sail off the edge of everyone else's map. And he discovered a new territory. So I give you permission to be a better map maker, and the only way you can do that is to go out and to explore. The real answer is, what works for him is not relevant for you. What's relevant is, what is your practice going to do for you? What are you going to claim for yourself? Huh? Do you?
I do see what yes, sir. Once we do that,
Say again?
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
So once we do change work on stage,
Yes.
and then I think I'll have a lot less approach anxiety.
If I do change work with you, will you have a lot less approach anxiety? I think you should be very anxious about that question until I do it. We'll get back to you. But I want you to see, in some measure, he's just an extreme example of the kind of thinking that takes place with a lot of us. We let our worries and our fears tell us It's got to be this way. Instead of just go see what happens. I don't want you to have confidence. I want you to have, let's go fuck with people and see what happens. I don't know. Maybe your face slap, maybe you'll get blown. Who knows? Maybe both. But the idea is to see yourself stripping away from everything that would have gotten between you and what it is you really desire. You get it? Okay, I need 5 minutes. Give me a 5-minute break. You can take a break.